A few weeks ago, one of our friends of the channel, Nancy, sent me a haul, a jewelry haul. And those of you who follow the channel know who Nancy is. At least you've heard her name several times. And she sent me a photo too. Here's Nancy. And she's wearing a perwer set, a necklace, bracelet, and earrings that I made from one of the prior hauls that she sent me. Well, she sent me another one. And we are going to go through it in this video and see what we can upcycle from it. And I'm going to try to make another perwer. That's what we're going to try to do. So first up will be the haul, and then I've got to figure out what I'm going to pull from it to upcycle. If you're new to the channel, I'm Vicki with Avante Jewelry, and as I said, I'm going to go through the haul that our friend Nancy sent us. She also sent us some Christmas gifts too. I don't want to leave that out. And I've already sent her a thank you note, but thank you again, Nancy, for all the Christmas presents and the jewelry haul, which we're going to open in this video. And then on the spot, in the moment, I'm going to upcycle 1, 2, maybe 3 pieces of the jewelry into a perwer. What is a perwer? A necklace, bracelet, and earrings. And I have a purpose for this upcycle because I need some jewelry for New Year's Eve. Let's get started. Let's see what Nancy has sent me. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little packages in this bag. Let's go through them one by one. Ooh, look at this. Wow, that's a long necklace, and it's beautiful. We have these gorgeous glass beads. What is that name they have for this when it has the silver inside? I'll try to come up with it here and put it on the screen. But look at those beautiful beads. They're red with silver and gold flecks inside. And then we have these beads here that are a crackle pattern, and then little rhinestone rondelles and spacer beads. And this glass bead here with the red and the pink and the green, just beautiful. Oh my gosh, it keeps going on. There's more styles within this one necklace than I thought. We have little glass cubes and a rondelle, round glass bead, oval stone bead. Let's see what else. Do we have anything else? That's lots and lots to work with. It's gorgeous just like it is. It's on very fine thread, and it's knotted here and knotted there, but absolutely gorgeous. And it could be a double strand necklace very easily, maybe even a triple strand necklace, or upcycled. Oh, here's a square bead, square stone. Necklace number 1. Are we going to upcycle this? Well, I don't know, because I don't know what's in the other packages. I love this. First was red, now we have blue and gray. Not sure yet if this is one necklace or 2 necklaces. Let's find out. I haven't shown you yet how to work with suede cord, but I have made necklaces with it over the years. Is this something you'd like to see in 2026? Let me know if you'd like for me to do something with suede cord. But this is one necklace with 2 strands of suede cord, lobster clasp, and we have several strands, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strands of beads. Look at all the different shapes. We have the cubes, we have the rondelles, we have the 8mm rondelles, we have some square little shell beads with some silver tube beads. These look like 10mm rondelles, and they have an AB finish. Do you see all that sparkle? Then we have some silver beads. The blue ones are plastic, but then we get into some wood. So it really has a wide variety of beads on here that we could upcycle. And, I can kind of see some earrings with this, or maybe a bracelet, or maybe a different style of necklace. But let me know if you'd like to see a necklace made with suede cord. We have 3 packages here. What do we have? Let's take a look. This one is New York, and we have a very, very fine chain. It is wow, we've got 4 strands, 4 tiers. We have some small 6/0s. We have these little round beads. They're not very cool to the touch, so I'm going to say that these are plastic. And then we have these plastic faceted round beads. So we have 4 different sizes of beads, and these lightweight beads would make great earrings. We've got 2 more here. I could have used these white beads when I made my Christmas earrings. Oh goodness. We've got what looks like a vintage necklace. It has something written on here. Let's see here. Oh, I need to turn it around. It was upside down. This is a Trifari necklace. So I would consider this one, based upon the brand and the style, I would consider this vintage, probably 1980s. These diamond-shaped beads are really fun. They are all acrylic or plastic, including the round beads in between. They do not feel cool to the touch, so I'm going to say those are plastic too. But I can envision some fun earrings out of these, or maybe a bracelet. Just never know. That is great. Let's go to this one and see what we have. Wow, look at this unique combination of beads. It is absolutely beautiful. This is a great idea for a bead soup necklace. If you have a variety of shapes and sizes and colors, just put them all together. This is a 4-strand necklace, has a lobster clasp, and I'm not sure I would have even thought of putting these different colors together, but I love it. We have a light coral, blue, gold, gray, white, a light aqua. I mean, look at all the different colors and shapes. There is so much to work with here. And we have some abalone too. And it is absolutely gorgeous just like it is. But goodness sakes, if you find a necklace like this, you could make 4 different necklaces. If you like a more petite necklace, if you don't like all the strands, and you find something like this, you could actually have 4 different necklaces. Or earrings, or bracelets. So much to work with here. Love this one. Absolutely love it. Nancy, you know me. You know me so well now. You know I love it when I have jewelry to work with that has so much in one piece. And sometimes the stores, the thrift stores, the secondhand stores, don't even realize the value that we see in multiple strand pieces of jewelry. They price it at the same price they price everything else at. But look at all these beads. Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine. Look at this. It has this large clasp here, super large. But I love this. All the different beads. Some are metal, some are plastic. I can feel the coolness to the touch. We've got crystals. We have flowers. I have to isolate them for you a little bit. We have different shades of the flowers, different colors, from dark to the silver to a mix. Oh, wow. There's so much that can be used from this piece. Absolutely love it. I'm having so much fun. And I still have 2 more to go. And then we got to figure out what we're going to make. We have 2. It's like Christmas. Oh, I do love the tassels. I do. A lot of the tassel necklaces I don't take apart. I just wear them as they are. We have a very long necklace. This one has a brand. It's New York. I have a lobster clasp and lots of chain to work with. I have some of this chain. I like this chain. And then we have some plastic beads. We have, feels like a little bit of metal. We have some glass, these 2-tone rondelles with black and white. Those are beautiful. And then we have this gorgeous tassel with the rhinestone bead and some more rondelles. So absolutely beautiful. What have we here? This is so different. What's it say? It says Johnny Was. Johnny Was. Isn't that a high-end brand? Johnny Was? I have to look this one up. The beads are either glass or stone. Look at that. That is gorgeous. Very unusual clasp. It has this little leather strap that you fit around the button, the Johnny Was button. But I've never seen anything designed like this before. Have you ever made anything like this, where you've had a little button and this leather fabric here? I imagine that these beads are, I can see they are on a bar clasp and then probably glued inside of here. I mean, that's really different. It does limit the size. There's no extension chain for it, so you have to make them to size. But look at these gorgeous. I'm not even sure I'm doing it justice here. Look at these gorgeous beads. Just beautiful. Stones, beads, crystals, different shapes. We have the natural shapes. We have round, we have rondelles, we have faceted. A little bit of everything on this one. Never seen anything like it. It's beautiful. Let's take a look at this one. I knew right away it was stretched just by looking at it. Got some gorgeous little pastel, almost like a robin's egg blue rondelles, probably a 6mm. And then we have some crystals, thread tassel, and some little bead dangles. I don't know if you can see the little dangles here. Already made for us on head pins. Beautiful colors. This is the last one. Let's see what we've got. Wait till you see this one. Look at that. If this isn't vintage, well then I don't know what vintage is. We have the barrel clasp. We have round white beads separated by tiny little green seed beads. Every one of these. And then we get into this frosted bead, another white bead, and then this little ruffled bead, little ruffled spacer bead. And then check these out. This beautiful round glass bead with roses inside. And not just one rose, but two on each side. Then we have more white, more frosted, and it repeats the pattern with these gorgeous beads. Never seen anything like this. Absolutely love it. It's a very long necklace. Look at that. It takes up the whole mat that I have. And we have 2, 4, 6, 7 of these. And with something like this, if you love the pattern, but it's longer than what you want, well, just restring it, shorten it up, and make it the length that you want. It does have a lot of weight. These are glass beads. I can tell just by the weight. I can't even begin to tell you how heavy this necklace is, but it's gorgeous, and I'll have to think on this one because it's precious. It really is. Just like it is. Turn these roses around so you can see them. Gorgeous. Thank you so much, Nancy, for this beautiful gift of jewelry that I can upcycle and or wear. There's never any conditions with it when Nancy sends me jewelry, but it's all gorgeous, and thank you so, so much. Now I just have to decide what I want to upcycle from it. So keep watching. What do you think of this beautiful haul of jewelry that I received from Nancy? Every single piece is absolutely gorgeous, and most of it could be worn exactly like it is. But on this channel, we upcycle jewelry. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to pick a few pieces and take them apart and see what we can come up with. My goal is to make a parure necklace, bracelet, earrings, with the idea of making a set that I can wear on New Year's Eve. Not that we're necessarily going anywhere, but I'm sure Mark will take me to a nice lunch on New Year's Eve day. So with all that said, let's go ahead, select a few pieces, and get started. These are the 3 necklaces that I decided to upcycle for this video. I have this one here with the tassel, the multi-strand with the leather cord, and the 4-strand with all of these metal beads, and it also has some glass beads. I have an idea in mind. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but I do have an idea. And I want to start with this here. I do love tassels, but I tried this on, and sadly, this beautiful rhinestone bead is snagging my top. Yes, it snagged my top. Every time I tried, it snagged my top. So that's going to have to go, and that's too bad because it is gorgeous. So I'm going to have to replace it because of that. But that's okay. We'll do that. The rest of the beads, these were plastic. These are metal. These are glass. Have some more metal beads, more plastic, and then the chain. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove the tassel. And I just have some flat nose pliers. I also use chain nose pliers, which are tapered. I need to replace this, but I can take the tassel off right here. Close that up and set that aside. And before we take this off, do you recognize these components right here? Right here. Those are clam shells. I've shown you several times how to work with clam shells. But let's take this and open this sideways. And to my surprise, I'm seeing some rust on here. I didn't even notice that originally. There's a little bit of rust. That means this head pin got wet. So let's just go ahead and take some cutters and let's just go ahead and remove this head pin completely. Not that I had planned to use it, but I need to remove it. Do you see the rust here? Just got wet, that's all. These beads are still usable. I just need to give them a damp wipe with a little paper towel. And this here, as gorgeous as it is, I'm going to set it aside. I'm very disappointed I can't use that. Didn't expect it to snag, but you just never know. So here's a little clamshell that I mentioned. And what we have here is this section of beads is on either string or wire, not sure yet. And they ran that through the clamshell with a little crimp bead, then added a small jump ring. And on the other end, same thing. The string or wire runs through the clamshell, then onto a jump ring and attaches to the chain. So we can just go ahead and take this apart. I might want to use that little jump ring on there. I think what I'm going to do is just get my scissors here and cut this and see what we're working with. I might be able to recycle the clamshell, not sure. Some of these clamshells can be recycled. Depends on how much you want to do with your upcycling. And do you see here, let me get something. And what we have inside is not wire, it's a string with the crimp bead that I mentioned. And this clamshell is completely reusable. Now the jump ring is 2. So let's go ahead and take the beads off of here. I'm not going to use all these beads that are on here. I just wanted some of them. And I wanted the tassel, of course. So let's do the same thing here. Let's just cut this. Here's the clamshell with the string coming out the end. I know this is tiny for you to see, but it's there. The string is there. Just going to go ahead and open this little jump ring. Put it with the other one. Just using my thumbnail to open up the clamshell. How many of you watching this video have reused clamshells before? I mean, I have others. I have plenty, and they're very inexpensive, but I just wanted to show you that you could do that. Okay, the beads I'm not using is going to be the black beads. So let's gather these and set them aside. They could be used for another project someday. I'm going for the glass beads, the glass rondelles, and I like these metal beads. Let's scoop those up. Put the clamshells in here, and I'll go ahead and put the jump rings in here, although I might replace those. And then I have these 2 beads that I just need to wipe with a damp cloth, so I'll be right back. If you're enjoying this video, I appreciate a like. Be sure to comment, and if you haven't done so, please subscribe. And keep watching, there's more. I obviously can't get completely inside there, but it's better. What about the chain? Are we going to use the chain? Not necessarily for this particular upcycle. I have a couple of ideas in mind from the 3 necklaces that we're going to work with. So I'm just going to go ahead and separate the chain and set this jump ring in there and go ahead and open up this clamshell that was used to attach the chain. Throw the string away. I don't know about you, but I actually enjoy taking jewelry apart just as much as I enjoy making it. Putting the beads back together. I enjoy the whole process. Let's just get this crimp bead and string out of here and throw that away. Add that to our bowl. I'm going to set the chain aside though. So this is what we have so far to work with, along with the tassel. But we have 2 more necklaces to take apart. This necklace, this 4-strand beaded necklace, well, it's actually quite short. It has this very unusual, I can't get it open, has a very unusual clasp, but it is stunning. But it's a very short necklace. Yeah, this one is about 16 inches, so that's pretty short for me. Pretty short for a lot of ladies. So it makes a good one to upcycle. And we do have 4 strands here, but do I want to take all 4 strands off of it? By the way, each strand is on thread or wire. Don't know yet for sure. Each one has a clamshell, and then it's attached to this little bar with a jump ring. And the other end is the same idea. Everything's finished with a clamshell. So if you don't have clamshells in your bead stash, I highly recommend it. And I have a link for clamshells, my affiliate link for my Amazon store, Avante Jewelry. I'm trying to hear. Cookie Lee. Cookie Lee is the brand. This necklace probably has some value, probably $20. But, I'm going to upcycle it. That's what I'm going to do. I can't pass up all these beads. But it doesn't mean that I have to take every strand off of here. No, we could just pick one. Now, this one has dark roses, and this one has dark roses. And I'm not even sure I have these in order here. But we could just take one of the silver ones off, and I could probably, I don't even know if I have these in the right order. Let me check that here and lay it back down on the table. It looks like we have dark on the outside and then 2 silver. I think I'm just going to take one silver one off for now, and I think it's going to be this one right here. So that's the only one I'm going to detach, and we're going to do that by opening up the jump ring. If I can get a hold of it here. So if I did want to wear this necklace, I still have 3 strands left to do that. Setting the jump rings to the side, and voila, we still have a 3-strand necklace that we could wear or upcycle. Back to this, we have the clamshell at the end. Let's go ahead and open that up. What I thought was a nylon cord is actually a little dot of glue. Then we have the crimp bead, and then it's on string or thread, not nylon coated wire like I like to work with. It's pretty exciting when you have a necklace that has this many findings to it. Yes, some beads, some round beads, but a lot of spacer beads as well. It's pretty cool. This is what it's on, just kind of a thin cord or strand where I like to work with nylon coated wire. Let's set the clamshells over to the right. So far, what do we have to work with? We have these beads from the first necklace and the tassel. Then we have these mostly spacer beads, not a lot of just round beads to work with, and some pearls. I think we're going to need more than this to make what I want to make today. We do have this necklace that I pulled out that has the leather suede cord, and it has a variety of beads out of everything in this necklace. For this particular parure that I want to make, I like those, and I like these, and I like these, but I'm not going to necessarily use this strand. Let's dissect this necklace. We have 2 strands of suede cord that have a fold over clasp. We have a fold over clasp. The suede is just put inside here, and then you close this up, with your flat nose pliers. Okay, that's what we have here, and it's attached to a jump ring and then to the lobster clasp. On this end, it's just simply looped through a jump ring. See the jump ring? And then we have all of these strands attached with clamshells. So if you think every necklace is finished off with a fancy bead cover, with a crimp bead or tube and a bead cover, no, clamshells are used just as much. So this is pretty easy to take apart. We can just find the cut somewhere here and the jump ring, probably underneath the suede cord, and that's probably tightened up quite a bit. So I need to loosen that. Trying to find that cut. Well, as soon as I find it here, okay, there we go. Well, I found the cut all right because I opened up the jump ring and distorted it. I didn't plan to do that, but that's what happened while I was pulling on it. So I completely distorted that. That's fine. I have more. So now that end of all 5 strands is free. Let's do the same thing here. Let's loosen up the suede cord. Top part of the necklace is free. And I just happen to think that something like this, I could make 5 bracelets from it. Yep, 5 bracelets and hardly change anything. But we are going to change it. In fact, I am going to start with these 3. I'm going to set the one with the wood and plastic aside. I'm going to set this one aside with the large crystals. Might get back into it, not sure. These are the beads that I'm going for. So I'm just going to take these apart, remove the clamshell, save the clamshell, put these in my little bowl. That didn't take long to get the beads off of here. Now I'm going to go ahead and open up each clamshell so that I could possibly upcycle these. Of course, I can't upcycle the crimp bead. That gets thrown in the trash. And I'm not upcycling the wire either. If I was turning these into bracelets, I would upcycle the wire. But we're going to go for a necklace first and some earrings. And if time allows, we'll make a bracelet too. See if we can make that 3-piece set, also known as a parure. Sometimes So this is what we have to work with now. Do you remember what they used to look like? Do you? It's hard now, isn't it? I often say that I don't see necklaces and bracelets. I see beads and findings. I've selected the pieces that I'm going to work with. Not sure that I'll use all of the components from each of the necklaces, but quite a few of them. And I think I'll start with a necklace. So I have a bead board, nothing fancy, but it is going to help me lay out the necklace pattern. The only thing I know for sure is that I want the tassel at the bottom of the necklace. I am keeping that tassel. So I do want to make a component to replace the rhinestone ball, but I'll tell you what, we don't have to do this first. I'm just going to set that aside and just start building a pattern. I think I'm going to use one of the roses with the tassel, so I'll set one of those aside so I don't accidentally use it somewhere else. But let's just see what we can do here. You know, this is 0. And if we go up all the way up to, hope it's showing in camera, 9, that would be an 18-inch necklace. But let's start with 3 of these two-tone rhinestone rondelles. I don't have a lot left. I have to keep that in mind, especially if I'm going to make earrings. That's all I have left. Enough to make a pair of earrings and maybe a couple for a bracelet. So not a lot there. And this one was that tiny one. I only have one of those. And then we have these beads, and they're lighter gray. I also like these squares. These are just little shells. I like them too. Let's move that up and see about maybe 5 of these. I like to have a variation of pattern and texture. So I've got 5 of these, 3 of these. I've got cubes. That adds a different shape to it. I don't know how these colors are showing up on camera. I've got the lighting as bright as I can put it. Maybe start working in some cubes. Let's see if we can put 5 cubes here. That goes kind of flat here though. Let's switch this. Let's put the rondelles and then the flat bead. Switch this around. Everything can be changed at this point. We are just playing. That's all we're doing. And then I don't even know how many cubes I have, but we'll find out here. I could do just 3. Oh, and I have these little gray beads. Let's just set some of these out. Let's just see what we have to work with. I'm trying not to get into my own bead stash. I most certainly can. Nothing says I can't add to it, but I am trying to work with what we have here. I've got lots of the rondelles left, just a few cubes, not too many. Remember what I said about needing some to make earrings or a bracelet? Well, if I wanted to make earrings, I'm going to use this little pocket over here for earrings. I'm going to put 2 cubes, 2 rondelles. We'll consider this pieces and parts for possibly a bracelet. I may not pull off a bracelet. I don't know. I'm going to cut back here and only have 3 cubes. So I'm going to put a couple in here to go towards a bracelet. As far as everything else in here, we have these 2 beads. I guess we could work those in between. Save a couple for a bracelet. That only leaves me with 1 left. So I guess these are... Oh, wait. It needs to go there. I almost forgot. Okay, that's working out pretty good. I might be out of the dark rondelles, but I have the gray ones. Maybe we should pull this one here, work in a light one in between, and then a light one on either side there. I mean, really, it's just something that you play with until you get what you like. You can see I have a lot of light colors here. Well, that actually is pretty intentional of why I chose these, is because I often wear black. And so I have found that if I wear a dark necklace, like I had a Christmas necklace on recently that was red and green, and I had a black top on, and the colors in the Christmas necklace barely showed up. So since I'm planning on having probably a black top on for New Year's, I want something light. So that is an intentional choice that I've made here. I just hadn't said it yet. All right, we have some really cool spacer beads in here. First of all, let's set a couple of these roses aside, possibly for earrings, because I don't know yet what we're going to do. Let's set one aside for a bracelet. That could be a focal point. We have these larger round beads, which I think I'm going to put in here towards a bracelet. I guess I didn't show those to you very well. There it is. And I do like these spacer beads a lot. So where could we work these in? Now, I do have to make sure if I put these next to this 2 bead that it doesn't fit through there. It doesn't. We're good. Let's just line up these and see how many we have. And I just want to see how many I have of things before I get carried away and then find out that I can't do what I want to do. even though I don't know what I'm doing yet, other than making a necklace and earrings and hopefully a bracelet. And of course, we could make this a 2-strand or a 3-strand. I'm typically pretty good with just having a single strand necklace. But we do have a lot of those. A whole bunch of these little spacer beads. I like those. I think since we have so many of these, I'm going to put 3 of them together. Move everything up. Just going to put 3 together. I'm going to do the same thing on this half.
So I look at my reflection instead. Oh, I see all them dreams running round in my head. I've sold my soul enough to dreams of someone else. Do you believe when I say
This is what we have so far. I know it doesn't look like much, but we're not done yet. In the bowl still, I have these round beads that have kind of a rose design embossed on it. Got 4 of those, some other spacer beads. I'm putting them on here so I can see how many I have and take a good look at it. I do have these squares still too. Where do we want to work those in? I need to work in the tassel here. Let's put some squares, another shape. Slide those around. Doesn't matter to me right now about the length. I just want to get all the different types of beads in here that I have. And they'll be a lot closer together when we string them. If you've ever worked with a bead board, you know that. I'm loving all the different shapes.
dream has become who I am? Better get ready,
Okay, did I miss anything? We're going to put the tassel here. Just checking the pattern. Square bead, 3 square, 2 square. 5 of these on each side. Square, flower spacer. I haven't finished off with any beads in between here and here yet. I haven't quite decided on that. So we have a few of these left, not a lot. Oh, that's really tiny. I just saw I had some really, really tiny ones, so got to be careful. There's a couple that are smaller than the rest of them. Let's throw those in there towards the bracelet. It's these. I have some tiny ones, so let's put those over in the one for earrings. That's what we have so far. I don't know if it looks like much on camera. I apologize if it doesn't. Just trying to work out this pattern. That takes the most time, not stringing it. Now, I do have these little darker silver spacer beads that I haven't used. Could work those in. I have these little rosette beads that we could work in. I'm going to work those in, and I only have 4. I think I should do those near the front center, close to the tassel. So I'm just going to push all of these around. Try not to get them out of order too much. And if I put one, like one to the left and one to the right, what would I put in the center? I mean, I've got the tassel. It's going to drop down here. What bead do I want? Oh, maybe we'll put a square bead then on each side of the tassel. That's a possibility. This will show up better when I move the board. Are we ready to string yet? We still have some pearls. We still have some crystals we haven't used. We still have these gray beads we haven't worked in. Let's see how many crystals we have. This is another reason the bead board is helpful, is when you just want to lay out your beads like I'm doing here. I'm not planning on doing a 2 or 3 strand necklace, but I want to see what I've got to work with. I'm not going to use this color here, and I have some gray pearls. So what I have left are kind of a cream color, almost a taupey color. There's another gray, and then some copper. And I don't think I'm going to mix in any of those colors, but this is what I have left. I have clear crystal, I have round crystals, I have round pearls, I have gray rondelles, and I have these unusual spacer beads. How do I want to work these into this? You know, I put these cubes all the way up here, but they're going to fall pretty much behind the neckline. So do I really want to do that? Of course, these are not strung yet, so I don't know how it's going to shorten up. Decisions. I have the option of using some of these little seed beads in between. Like, I thought the seed beads would be good in between the shell, like it was before. I kind of liked that idea. I don't know what to do. Let me think on it a minute and I'll be right back. All right, as I studied it here, I realized I have 3 of the flower spacers here, 3 here, 3 here. I'm not sure why I have 2 of these so close together, and I'm pushing the cubes around the neck. So I am going to take these 3 out, move the cubes here, move the little flat shell beads, flat shell squares here, then the flowers, and then we have this, square and the tube bead. And that brings the cubes back down here a little further. And then I could also put some spacers in between the cubes. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Instead of having 2 sets of flowers, I'm going to move these down. I'll put the little seed beads in between. And I'm also going to put seed beads in between the cubes. I still haven't worked in the gray. I still haven't worked in the clear, but I can put them down here. Are you still with me? Because I know this is tedious, just laying out the pattern, but that's the way I show you, what I'm doing here. Maybe I'll just put the clear in the front and not here, because I don't have enough, and I'm going to want to clear possibly in the earrings or the bracelet. I do have the gray, so let's put the gray here. I think I'm going to stop there. I think I'm ready to string. And if I want to work in any more of these gray, I could work them in up here. All right, let's string it. Why not? Got some 49 strand wire, nylon coated wire. Let's do 12, but let's do 24 inches. I'm adding a gator clip on one end. Okay, make sure it's secure. Now we have a couple of options here. I'm going to be adding this, and I can add this with a jump ring, so I don't have to put it on here yet. We have 2 options. We can either string from end to end, or I could string both sides at the same time, starting in the middle. So you know what? I'm taking this clip back off. And I'm going to run my hands through the wire, bring the ends together, and I'm going to have to remember that my center point for my tassel is in between these 2 roses and the 2 square beads. That's where my tassel is going to go. I'm just not ready to attach it yet. I know that might sound funny, but I just don't want it in the way. So we are going to string both sides at the same time. 2 square beads, just let them drop down. 2 rose beads, let those drop. And then make sure that each side that I do has the same exact bead going on it. We've got the square. We're trying out this tube. You can do it whatever way you'd like. If you want to string from left to right or right to left, or do both at the same time, that's completely up to you. Take a look at it. This is what we have so far. Just checking it. Before we go any further, I just want to let you know that the glass rondelle beads should be 8 millimeter. Yes, 8 millimeter. The flower spacers are 8 millimeter. The tubes, well, the tube is about 1 centimeter long. the squares, 7mm square cubes. So I mean, these are all fairly small beads, nothing very large. The rose bead that I plan to use to drop the tassel is 12mm. So nothing too big, just to give you an idea. Finish stringing this, and then I'll be back to show it to you. Well, I tried it on, and I think it's time to get the tassel on here because I don't want a really short necklace with a tassel. I want it to be a little bit longer. So I'm going to stop there, and we're going to finish off this tassel and no doubt make this necklace a little bit longer. I have a rose bead, and I can use a head pin or an eye pin. I think I'll just take a head pin here and just cut off the head of the head pin over my trash can. Using round nose pliers, wires flush, make a loop. Put that back on and push on the wire and turn this into a head pin. I'm going to close it up a little more. And I'm making this because I want to thread this rose bead on here and maybe a crystal. My eye pin is not as straight as I'd like, so I'm going to pull that back and close it up. I do have an eye pin, but that might be a little larger than I need. You know what? I'm going to grab an eye pin. You can see that the ready-made eye pin's a little bit smaller, and I'm just going to go with that. Let's go ahead and attach the eye pin. Just open this sideways to the tassel instead of a jump ring. Could have used a jump ring, but I'm just going to use the eye pin. So there's my tassel. Now, let's see what we want to put on this little rose. See what all we want to do. I have the flower. I have this clear crystal. That's kind of pretty. I have a little more room to add some more beads. Just depends on how long we want this to be. I do have some of the... No, I don't want that on there. The rondelles. I think I'm going to just go with this. These three right here. Very simple. So I'm going to bend this at a right angle. Cut this down to about 3/8 of an inch. And the wires flush. Make a loop. Close the loop. This is where it's so important that it's closed really well. But we do have to open it sideways or use a jump ring. Open it sideways and fit it right in the middle between those two square beads. I'm going to loosen this up a little bit. And I guess I could have put a closed jump ring on here. I could have, just didn't think about it. I'm going to put this over top of here and close it up as good as I can. Now that I have the tassel on here, I'm going to go try it on again, and I'll be right back. I tried it on, and it really does need to be longer because of the tassel, probably about 3 inches on each side. So we can either finish with beads, or we could finish with chain or the suede cord. There's a lot of different options. I think the suede cord for this project goes a little more casual than what I'm looking for. The silver chain would be fine because most of this is going to go around the neckline. But before we do that, let's add a few more beads. Maybe it is time to switch up the pattern to go around the neckline. And I have to tell you, I don't have a whole lot left. I really don't. I have a lot of these left. This gray, we could finish off with those around the neckline. But not a lot of beads left, and I'm saving some of these for a bracelet and some for an earring. I'm not going to put any square shell beads around the neck. I'm not going to put any cubes around the neck. It's going to have to be from the rondelles and or some chain. Try some of the rondelles, the gray, the light gray. So getting very, very close and yet not finished yet. No biggie. We'll just start adding these gray beads. And I think I will take advantage of these little seed beads and put one in between each gray bead. I'm not going to use the black and the white. I'm just going to stick with the gray, alternating with the seed bead, and start working these around the neckline. Getting close. This is what we have. I was thinking I need about 1 inch left on here. I mean, we've added, make sure I have the same amount here. And I'm just going to double check my pattern one more time since I have this. It looks good. Just going to go. I have more, so I'm just going to add a few more. And then, of course, we can add an extension chain You need about an inch to finish off for the clasp, an inch on each side. So I better wrap it up here pretty soon on how many beads I'm adding. I don't have a lot of room. I'm going to try it on one more time. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to attach a lobster clasp. I'm going to upcycle the lobster clasp from this New York necklace. I'm going to take the tag off of here. I don't need that. It's no longer a New York necklace. I took it back to beads, and now it's an Avante jewelry necklace. One of a kind. Never going to be another one exactly like it. And let's go ahead and just set the lobster clasp aside for now. And then I already have an extension chain right here that we can upcycle. So let's go ahead and take that off the chain. And if you wanted to, you could have just ran chain around the neckline, as I said. But I'm going with the beads. I have two 1.3 millimeter crimp beads. We're going to upcycle the clamshell, just running the wire through the bottom, picking up the crimp bead. Now this first one, I can just get my flat nose pliers and pull this little crimp bead to the end, because I'm not going to be cutting that off. I'll just pull it. There's the crimp bead, tiny as it is. Going to center it up on the wire as much as I can, pull it to the end, pretty close to the end, and flatten it. Make sure it's not going anywhere. Slide the clamshell up over it and close it up. We've got some of these jump rings over here that I can reuse. I can just take the jump ring that we're upcycling from the lobster clasp and go ahead and run this through the two holes on the clamshell, as long as it fits. You might need a smaller jump ring. So we have our lobster clasp attached. Push the beads all the way down. This is going to be important that all the beads get pushed down and around, because we don't want it loose on the sides of the tassel. I'm going to put a clip on here, and I'm just going to run my hand down through here. Again, upcycling the clamshell. You can open it up a little bit if you like, especially on the second one. Go through the underside or the bottom, pick up the crimp bead. Now this one, you just need to push it down. Again, run your hand down through here. And this is where I like to use my chain nose pliers, because they're narrow and I can get down inside of here. It's going to be hard to show you, but just trust me, I'm getting down inside of here, getting a hold of that crimp bead, pushing it down inside, and then flattening it. You don't want to overwork it, but you want it flattened. Now check it. It should not move. And then we need to trim off that wire. You can use scissors, whatever you can get down in there. Sometimes my clippers work, sometimes they don't. It depends on the wire, and I guess whether I'm having a good day or not trimming. Ah, I got it. What do? We close up the clamshell, and we need to attach the jump ring with extension chain. Again, I'm upcycling it. For this, it helps to have two flat nose. Again, upcycling the chain and the extension. I want a larger jump ring there. And then the extension chain. I just do. Maybe that's too big, but I'm making this for myself, so I can change that if I want. And then let's attach the extension chain here to that jump ring. I can always get a smaller one, but sometimes it's hard for me to get the lobster clasp in the jump ring if it's too small. How about you? Is that an issue for you too, or just me? If I decide that this necklace with the tassel isn't long enough, look how easily I could just take and remove the lobster clasp, attach a little bit of chain on each side, and then attach the lobster clasp and jump ring. That's how easy it will be to adjust this because of using the clamshell component. Clamshells are great. I tried it on and it needs a little bit of tweaking. I think it needs to be just a little bit longer, because with a tassel, I think it should fall a certain length. So I'm going to tweak it just a little more. So I have 3 lengths of the chain. I took some chain off of here, about 3 inches. And I'm going to upcycle a few jump rings here. I'm just going to go ahead and attach some chain to the clamshell, just putting the jump ring through those 2 loops, Close that up. That's going to add 3 inches to that side and 3 inches to the other side. So the necklace will be 6 inches longer. And again, I'm doing it because the tassel is actually quite long. So the necklace really needed to be longer. And I don't have a lot of beads left anyway, so I really wasn't going to be able to add a lot of beads around the neck. So I'm going to attach the lobster clasp to one side. There's really not a front or back to this, but attach the lobster clasp. Close that up, give it a little pinch. And then I do like a larger jump ring, so I'm putting a larger jump ring here, and then I'm upcycling the extension chain. So that adds another probably about 3 inches. So it gives me more options for how long I want to wear the necklace. So here we go. We have the tassel with the little rose, and then we have a variety of textures and shapes, and then the rondelles and chain to finish up around the neck. And all of this upcycled. Everything here, other than the crimp beads, are from the original necklaces. I always find making earrings with the necklace to be quite fun and pretty easy because the earrings only take a few beads. So let's see what we can come up with for earrings to match our necklace. Let's make some earrings with what we have left. As you know, we don't have a lot left. Really don't. But that's okay. I'm going to do it. I am going to make earrings and a bracelet. These are some of the beads that I set aside. A couple of 2-inch head pins. And then, let's see. I had these tiny little cubes. Let's see if they'll stay on there. They will. Just had a few of these. Let's add the rose bead because that's the focal point right here. And how about one of these little flower beads and one of the rondelles? This is the darker, almost black and white rondelle. Well, that's looking pretty good. Oh, I do have crystals here, though. I do. I don't think I'm going to put the cubes in here. I do have 2 crystals. The earrings are getting a little bit longer now. The question is, do I want that rondelle in here or do I just want to go right to the crystal? They're just a little more generic, meaning that I'm not locked into the black and white bead. Oh, yeah. That's it. That's all I need. Just picking this up right here for the earrings. Need 2 ear wires. But I do want a tiny bead at the top. So where are those seed beads? Just a couple seed beads here. Just to finish off the top. I've always found it pretty easy to make earrings to go with a necklace. Those are going to be great. Push the beads down. Wait a minute. I have this square at the bottom. Do I want that square at the bottom? Maybe not. Now that I'm looking at it again, maybe I just want that little seed bead at the bottom. Yeah, I don't want the square at the bottom. I want this little round seed bead. Do I want the square at the top? Nope. I'm just going to get another seed bead. That's what we're going to do. Seed bead at the bottom, seed bead at the top. No square beads. That's better. Push the beads down. I just put my thumb at the top, bend that at a right angle. My cutters are on my round nose pliers. Cut it down to about 3/8 of an inch. Wires flush. Flush here. Get a hold of it again. Roll that back. Turn it around. Face it towards you. Close it up. Straighten it up. Close it up a little more if you need to. We've got our loop. Do the same thing here. Just going to open up the loop on the ear wire sideways. Or you can open up the loop on the earring part itself, whatever you prefer. And our earrings to go with our necklace are done. And because I didn't lock myself into the black and the white, I can wear these with anything. How about a bracelet? Got to have a bracelet if it's a perware. I mean, we need at least 3 pieces for a perware. And a perware could be also 4 pieces, including a brooch. But I'm not really that good at making brooches. It's been decades. So yeah, we're just going to make a bracelet next. These are all the beads that we have left. Of course, I did not incorporate any of these into the necklace or the earrings. So I'll set that aside. I have some chain. Set that aside, and then I have these beads, which is everything that's left, including the rhinestone. And we do have one rose, just one. Those of you who follow the channel know that I'm quite fond of a particular type of bracelet. That is a memory wire bracelet. I just like how easy they are to put on. And as you know, I'm not a big fan of stretch elastic bracelets because I've had them break. Not ones that I've made, but ones I've purchased have broken. So anyway, I'm going to use memory wire, and I'm just going to let it overlap about, maybe I'll let it overlap like half, 1.5. So I'll show you in a second here after I get it cut. You do need memory wire cutters for this, or you could damage your regular cutters, or you could string it on bead stringing wire. You know, make the bracelet whatever way you'd like to make it. But I'm going to use memory wire, and as you see, it's overlapped about a half. So let's just see what we can come up with here. I know that I want the rose in the center. I mean, the rhinestone ball would be beautiful. It would be. It's a large hole bead, but I'm going with the rose. That's been the focal point. So the rose goes first, and we have a few other larger beads that we could use, you know, if we want to make the top of the bracelet a little bit larger than the rest. Let's just see what we've got here. Get our larger beads out. I didn't use any pearls in there, but I used these black and white, and I used, the gray. Got plenty of beads here to make a bracelet. I'm not going to use the little square chip shells because I don't think those would feel very comfortable on the wrist. So I'm not using those. I have just a few square beads left. All right, I still have a few of everything left in here. Let's start with this. Build off of the rose bead. When we look back at the necklace, I guess, do I have any clear crystals left? Only one clear crystal. So that's out. Add a little tiny square spacer bead. And then let's go into the black and white rondelle. I don't have to do the same pattern of 3 and 3. We don't have to do that. We could actually take the flower spacer and put it in between, using these as a spacer. As it is with most bracelets, you only really see the top unless it turns around on your wrist. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. Put most of the pattern at the top. And while I do have these beads, I didn't use them anywhere in the necklace. I have these smaller rose beads, which they're kind of cool. I'm not sure if I like that square bead there. I don't think I do. So much for that. I'll take these off and start over. Not fond of the square bead next to the rose. Instead, let's use a little small gray bead and see how that works. A gray rondelle. Oh, I wish I could put the crystals on each side of the rose. And like I said, I only have one. But boy, I would like that so much better. I could get into my bead stash and find a couple little crystals. I think it needs it. It does. Be right back. Mine have a little bit of an AB finish versus the original one, but I am going with it. I feel that this rose bead just needs to be a nice focal point on the bracelet. The black and white, flat flower spacer, black and white. I have these flower beads. I could probably work one in on each side, even though they're not in the necklace. They still pick up the flower. I think we're going to start working our way down with the gray, kind of like a little two-tone gray that we used up around the neckline. We could put seed beads in between, but I have enough of these to finish off the bracelet. So let's just do that. Not sure how many I need. I'm just going to keep going until I run out of beads. I don't really need them for anything else, so I can let this wrap around the wrist all the way out to the end of the wire. Of course, I want to count these beads and make sure I have equal amounts on each side. That's the last of those. Didn't work in the squares. I'm okay with that. I could put a small square bead at the very bottom. All right, so how many do I have here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. I'll just finish this off. You need to allow a little room at the end to make your loop. I'm going to add a small gray, tapering down, and then I'm going to bring back those little square beads that I had. I'm going to put a little square bead on the end. So I'm not going all the way out to the end because I do have to make a finishing loop. To do that, I have this cool looping tool. If you don't have one of these, you can use your round nose pliers, but I really like this. And you can curl this loop inwards or outwards, but what I do recommend is that you use the smallest loop, not the largest. It has two sizes here. If I want to wrap around the small one, I'm going to wrap to the outside. The wire's flush, and I'm going to just bend that back. Let's do the same thing to the other side. There's our bracelet with our little rose bead in the center and some crystals. Now that we have the set done, let's take another look. I'm going to show you what the necklaces look like before we even started. Sometimes it's easy to forget what everything looked like originally. So let's take a look at the before. And now let's take a look at the finished pieces. Here's the set. We've got the long necklace with the really long tassel, the earrings with the rose beads, and the memory wire bracelet. Oh, and be sure to watch all the way to the end because Mark and I put a little year-end wrap-up at the end of the video. So if you'd like to see my husband Mark, make sure you watch all the way to the end because, yeah, we've got a few things to say. Let's see, I need to get back far enough. Yes, purple. Love purple. I've got this long beaded necklace with a long tassel with a little rose bead in it, all different shapes and sizes and textures of beads. Have the memory wire bracelet with the rose bead and all the other beads coordinating with the necklace, and then the earrings. I'm really happy with how this set turned out. I did adjust the necklace a few times to get the right length, but as I showed you in the video, it's very easy to make adjustments. So I hope you like my perverse set. I know I do. And do know that I have other necklaces to upcycle from Nancy. So she'll be receiving something in the mail in the new year, just like she received this set. I am keeping this one, but I will make something for Nancy and send it her way. Thank you again, Nancy, not only for all the Christmas presents, but the beautiful jewelry that you picked out for me. She sent a couple more photos too on the other side. I'm so grateful for everything you've done for me this year. And I'm grateful for all of you who follow the channel and subscribe and leave comments and thumbs up. Let's move on to the wrap up. Mark and I did record this about a week ago, so I am dressed a little bit different. Mark and I want to take a second here and say Merry Christmas to all of you and your families. And thank you so much for supporting the channel. I mean, haven't they just been wonderful, hun?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's, I share your comments with Mark. Anything you would like to say? Putting him on the spot here.
Thank you very much for all of your support, and I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yes, I'll be sure to subscribe, right? I have a lot more videos planned for 2026. Can you believe it's going to be 2026? Doesn't it sound odd?
Just as odd as 2025
I
sounded.
know. Yeah, the time goes so fast. Anyway, this is the last video for the year of 2025 because I'm going to take a little break. You think I need a break, hon?
I think you're due for a break.
I do, because I need to get caught up. I'm so behind on so many things. So I'm going to take maybe 2 weeks off, but that doesn't mean you can't go back and watch all my other videos and my playlists and all the other hundreds of videos that I have. Mark and I would like to wish you a Merry Christmas and
a
Happy New Year. Bye.
Bring in the new year.
Yeah. Thank you. Love you.
Love you too.
But I think this will be just fine for New Year's, whether it's lunch or the evening. Probably lunch. But we will have, let's see, shrimp cocktail and crab cakes and cheese and crackers and some champagne for New Year's Eve.